Yeah, Nick, I was wondering how practices have been going, and are y'all looking forward to the opportunity to play in front of some fans on
Oh
Sunday?
yeah, practice has been going good. We've been practicing hard, for the past, ever since this, new time has started. Just trying to get everything going, for the season, and I'm super excited for Sunday. It's my first college red and white game, scrimmage game, so it should be it's gonna be a fun experience for me because I went last year and I saw how exciting that was. So, it should be good for the team, and we're gonna get after it.
Yeah, this isn't the first time y'all played the red white game in Barnhill, but being an in-state guy, I mean, are you familiar with the history of Barnhill? Is there any added excitement about that at all? Being an in-state guy?
Um, no, not really. I just want to play. It really don't matter where we play at, honestly. No disrespect to the history of Barnhill, but I'm just trying to hoop.
Bob?
Hey Nick, how you doing? One thing we asked Eric and some of the guys about, I guess was Trevin and Ricky a couple weeks ago, was that in Europe you guys did a lot of good things, but turnovers were an issue, and really you were the only consistent 3-point shooter. How would you say turnovers and 3-point shooting has been going in practice? And maybe who else has been knocking down some threes besides you?
Well, as a team, we just try to get extra shots in every day. Coach must, explain to us how important it is to get shots up every day. And the turnovers, it was a learning experience. That was our first time actually playing with each other. And I'm pretty sure that when the season starts, we ain't gonna have that many turnovers as we had for sure.
And then the red white game. I mean, you guys are obviously going at each other every day in practice. But how competitive is the red white game? Is that a big deal to be on a winning team, or is it
Oh
more?
yeah, you have a little bit of edge if you win against the other players. We're gonna get after it for sure. I know Coach Musk gonna let us get after it.
Have you been in Barnhill before? I mean, shot around or anything, or gone
No,
to
I've,
ball?
I've been in there, but I ain't never really just shot around for real in Barnhill.
Yeah. And then you guys had the pro day the other day. I think there were 29 teams of everybody, but Minnesota was there, who I don't think has a pick. But you're obviously a guy that's talked about as a real high draft pick. What was the pro day experience like for you and the team?
It was cool. Just seeing scouts there. Some people was kind of pretty used to the environment. I just tried to treat it like a normal practice. We got after it. Some people had, AB had a good showing. TB had a good showing. I think everybody really did what they had to do. Basically, we just had a good experience. Just seeing that the NBA scouts was there, and it was it's like when I'm
Were you
practicing.
guys were you nervous at all, or you're kind of beyond that with all the stuff you've done already?
Uh, well, for me personally, I wasn't nervous. But once the season start kicking in, them butterflies gonna kick in. But I should be straight.
Okay, thanks.
Curtis?
Hey, Nick, obviously you guys got a taste of playing some outside competition in Europe. Then you came back and you've been going through the grind of practice for several weeks, but you're less than a month away from the regular season starting. Just curious, what's maybe the vibe or the mood around the team as you guys start to ramp up and get closer to the season?
Well, the vibe of the mood is just going hard every day. That's the vibe of the mood right there. If you ask Coach Musk, he ain't slacking on whatever we need to do. We trying to have a winning season, and that's what we're gonna try to go for. We're gonna try to make it far in the tournament. We got to get there first. So just trying to be more prepared than any team in the country. We have like 12 new guys, 6 freshmen, and 2 returners or something like that. So we understand that. So I feel like we doing a pretty good job of mixing together early. And about time, when everything started going, I feel like we should be right there.
And then obviously you mix it up with these guys every day. I'm curious from your standpoint, is there a teammate of yours that maybe isn't being talked about enough? Maybe someone that's really stood out to you individually at practice and through workouts?
I say Darian Ford. He's been good for us for this past week. He's been making big plays. Not necessarily just scoring the ball, but I'm saying just making defensive plays. Getting 50-50 balls. that's his game. So I feel like he been playing good this week. You know, he been playing good. Once he figured it out, he been playing good all this time we've been practicing. So, you know, I feel like that's probably one of the most underrated players that haven't been. You know,
Scotty,
Yeah, Nick, I'm just curious, what have you noticed in practice that you guys are, pretty good at? Like what parts of the game is would you consider a strength for this team?
one of our strengths is going to be defense for sure. You know, we're not going to, what Coach Muss has taught us. You know, a lot of defensive schemes. Stuff that we ain't never really got taught before. I feel like we should be the most competitive and the most, like lengthwise. I feel like we right there with any team in the country, and I feel like a lot of white people are not going to really score a lot of points on us.
Where would you say that your game has grown most since you got to campus?
Well, my body, I gained a lot of pounds, a lot of weight. Just trying to get in shape. I feel like I got in pretty good shape this year. My shooting, I feel like my shooting got a lot better. Dribbling off the ball. A lot of stuff I came here and worked on. It showed. But at the end of the day, I got to do that stuff in the game where it don't matter. So, just trying to get prepared for that.
And the last thing for me, just what are your thoughts on the team's bigs right now? Like, where do you think that you've seen growth from those guys since you got back from Europe?
When the bigs are always going to be a really good piece for us. Coach Muss really never had like bigs for real. So this year is probably going to be I think it's going to be his first year with bigs. I think we got 4 bigs. So it should be a good run for us. We're very long, tall. We can switch off ball screens. We can hard heads. We can basically do anything. It just depends on what the offense gives us. But I feel like our bigs are going to be pretty good this year.
Courtney,
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Perfect. Hey, Nick, I know we've talked about the red and white game, but what for you, like being an in-state guy, what does it mean to play in front of the fans and get that experience for the first time?
Thinking about the times we're gonna have, and starting Sunday, with the fans, and it should be a pretty fun experience. Like I said, it's gonna be my first time. It's gonna be the other freshmen's first time, so it's gonna be a lot of excitement for us. We're gonna be getting up and down, and showing what we can do. So by the time I get there and get going, it's gonna be like a surreal moment for me.
Perfect. That's it for me. Thanks.
Randy,
I don't know if I have a microphone with this or not. Can you hear
good.
me? Okay.
Yeah.
Nick, has there been any particular point of emphasis by Coach Muss, anything that y'all have been working on specifically?
Like I said before, shooting the basketball is one of our big concerns. But I feel like we can shoot the basketball, though. I mean, it's not really a big concern for us. As long as we continue to get in the gym and have everybody locked in and everybody, doing what they need to do, I feel like we should be a pretty good shooting team. He's been talking a lot about defense, being tough, being competitive, because one thing about Muss, he don't really like losing, and I don't like losing either. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to be competitive. We're going to try to win every game.
How do you see this team rebounding the basketball?
We're going to be a pretty good rebounding team for sure. Rebounding is all about competing. If you're not competing, you're not really going to get, any loose balls, any rebounds. So, I feel like we have 15 guys that really want to win. So once we get in the season, we should see how everything goes out. But, I feel like we should be a very competitive team.
Thanks, Nick.
Bob, follow up?
Yeah, Nick, you mentioned adding some weight. Well, do you know what your weight was and what it is now? Like when you first got here, what was it? And then what have you gotten it up to now?
Well, before I came here, I think I was like 179, all bones. Now I'm around like 185, somewhere around that range.
Okay, and then, Devo's obviously the older guy, only third year guy in the program. Even a guy as good as you, maybe what have you learned from watching Devo, or how's he been in practice? Kind of how's he doing that leadership thing for the younger guys?
Devo's been great for us, just telling us about, all the the little stuff that, coach wants. And, I feel like he done a pretty good job with the team, and, he's going to continue to be that guy for us. And one thing about Devo, he's also very competitive too, and he don't really like losing. So I feel like that would be a good piece for us, when it comes to March, because it's all about he's a big time player. He makes big shots, he gets big time stops. But basically, I mean, Devo is just Devo.
That's got one where you guys are like in the top 10 and some of the preseason polls coming out. I'm sure he'll be in the top 10 and probably every poll that comes out. Just wondering how y'all feel about that. What's your reaction to that?
I don't really have a reaction because we haven't played a single game yet. So, we'll see where we end up when we first start. But, the rankings and stuff really doesn't matter right now.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Nick, I had a question. I'm just curious how, as a freshman, you've kind of handled taking on, I guess, a leadership role. I think Eric back in the spring kind of called you like that alpha personality. Like how have you handled that, or has it kind of not been a big deal? Just, I guess, because that's kind of who you are.
It's just, I don't know. It's just how I grew up. I always, was playing against older guys, so I always felt like I had a chip on my shoulder, something to prove. And I feel like that, coming in, I feel like I had a lot of stuff to prove. People saying I'm a freshman and stuff like that, that I'm not gonna, do in particular things, which is fine. We'll just see what happens. I'm just a very competitive guy. I don't really like losing, and I'm very serious about my craft, and I'm very serious about having a team, in one big family. So, as the season progresses, I feel like we should be straight. The guys we have is really bought into what we're trying to do, and we're going to see what happens.
Nick, thanks very much for your time. Appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all.